2008, SC&G rates have increased by about 31%. More than half of that has been due to the Base Load Review Act passed in 2007, which allows the company to have annual rate hikes to pay for the financing construction costs of the 2 nuclear plants in Fairfield County. I'm not here to second guess the decision to pass the Base Load Review Act for its intended purpose, nor are we advocating that the nuclear plants not be built. However, those plants are already hundreds of millions of dollars over budget and are 3 years behind schedule. All the while, the annual rate increases continue, and the costs of the plants keep going up, all of which, under the current practices, is and will be paid for by the consumers. And by the time the nuclear plants are finished, rates will have risen 31% just for the construction financing. Add to that the regular rate hikes, and consumers may be paying SC&G bills 50% higher by 2020 than they were just 12 years ago. So we believe it is time to reassess the Act and how it has been carried out to determine if it really is serving the public's interest and not just the interests of SC&G and their stockholders. We are calling for an independent analysis of the Act to provide both the Public Service Commission and the General Assembly with information needed for going forward. This assessment should address the following. How much of the original projected $4 billion in ratepayer savings over the 40-year life of the nuclear plants has been eroded today due to construction delays and overruns? At what point would it be in today's customers' interest to cease the funding of the ongoing construction financing costs and approval of cost overruns, and instead require SC&G to complete the construction on its own dime and then ask the Public Service Commission for the appropriate rate increase? Now, the Public Service Commission has the authority to reject SC&G requests for additional cost overruns under the Act, which specifically calls for, and this is a quote, protecting customers of investor-owned electrical utilities from responsibility for imprudent financial obligations or costs. However, no cost overruns, no costs due to delay, no additional costs due to inadequate contract penalties have been ruled as imprudent financial obligations or costs by the Public Service Commission. Thus, all these costs plus a hefty profit on top are being passed on to the ratepayer instead of the SC&G shareholder, who can demand accountability. The General Assembly should define the terms prudent and imprudent in the Act to better benefit the consumer. And finally, the Small Business Chamber asked the General Assembly to provide some financial relief to SC&G customers, both because of the burden placed on the consumers due to the Act passed by the General Assembly, and also because the new nuclear plants will benefit the entire state. Now, the projection is that these nuclear plants will cover 80% of the reduced carbon emissions goal for South Carolina set by the Environmental Protection Agency. The cost of achieving this goal should be a statewide responsibility, not paid for solely by my 91-year-old mother or the people in this room, or the small businesses in South Carolina who are ratepayers or SC&G, or all the other SC&G customers. So we are looking to members of the General Assembly to take action. The independent assessment of the Act and how it has been carried out will not happen without you. And certainly the needed financial relief for SC&G customers is your responsibility. Yes. We are ready to work with the General Assembly on this issue, and I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Frank. Any questions by any member of the delegation? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
Next item on the agenda is